Hey, it's Debbie, and I am super excited to be here. This is my first live on TikTok. I have been wanting to go live on this platform for such a long time, and I received an inbox message inviting me to do so. So I am super excited to do this. I've gone live on other platforms, but this is my first time. I know you guys might have been following me for a while, or maybe this is just appearing in your feed. The reason I entitled this art was because I am an artist. Hi, thanks for joining. I am just going to give you guys a little bit of a background. I grew up in the western suburbs of Chicago. So when I say, hey guys, that means everybody. It's just kind of a saying that I have and that's kind of popular in that region of the US. And I lived up there, for about 21 years, and then I moved to Southwest Florida, but I still think I still have that Chicago accent. And even though I don't tolerate the heat super well, I do live in Florida. And the one plus is that if you notice my name, Disney Diva Deb, I'm a huge Disney fan, and I am very fortunate that I live only a few hours away from Disney World. So going back to a little bit more information about me, I am a multi-passionate mixed media creative artist, and I know that's like a super long title. I think it's because I've done so many different things. I studied commercial art and advertising in college, and I thought, I would be doing something in that field. And then I moved to Florida and I ended up doing visual display merchandising. I did not even know that was an actual thing, even though like I knew that windows got dressed and that mannequins got dressed. I just didn't know what the name for that was. And my great uncle was working in a retail store and they had an opening for an assistant visual display merchandiser. So I did that for a few years for one particular store. Hi. And then I went and did that for another 4 years at another store. So I grew up loving to play with Barbie dolls. And so when I got this job as a visual display merchandiser, it was so much fun because for me, it was like I got to dress big Barbie dolls. And when I was in high school, I did stage crew and I was on art staff, and so I got to make props and do different things. So while I was doing this visual display merchandising job, we ordered some of the props, but I was able to make some of them, so that was really kind of cool. And so I did that for quite a while, and after I left that, I ended up doing some wedding coordinating, and I made a lot of silk bouquets. I made a lot of headpieces. I made a lot of like wrist corsages and that type of thing. I ended up taking cake decorating, and I ended up doing a lot of different cakes over the years. I made floral arrangements, mostly silk, but some of them live. And I was a wedding coordinator for a really long time. And then during that whole time frame, kind of around there, got really burnt out and physically ill, and I ended up completely changing my way of eating and sought out alternative natural healing modalities. And to me, healing arts is a form of art. And I sought out natural practitioners that did a variety of different things, from massage therapy to energy work to reflexology, aromatherapy, all of that type of thing. And I also changed my eating habits at that time. And I went from Midwestern meat eater who ate a lot of meat and cheese to somebody that was going to little by little start eliminating certain things out of my diet to see if that helped me to feel better. And actually, dairy had been causing me really bad headaches for a really long time. And I did not realize and put the two and two together that the dairy was causing me the headaches. So I eliminated cheese and milk as the first thing that I eliminated from my diet. Well, that whole journey led me to a 23-year career in the holistic wellness industry. And I worked for about 6.5 years while I was doing the wedding coordinating for a massage therapy office. I learned that whole industry, and I also worked doing some, work with a holistic chiropractor, and that was during the time I sought out a lot of holistic healing, from live blood cell analysis to body talk, which really almost was the one thing that really saved me. And then I ended up helping my family open a practice. So out of that 23 years, 17 years of those, I helped run our family wellness practice, and we did a lot of different things. We had different spa services, and the last incarnation of our business included Himalayan salt therapy, and that was an amazing form of healing. And at the onset of the pandemic, our family did close our wellness practice, and I took that time over the last couple years to get certified doing a lot of different things. And as I had mentioned before, I am a huge Disney enthusiast, if you've seen any of my posts. So I did Disney Leadership Institute training, which I loved. I did small business training. I've done all different kinds of social media training. I've done intuitive art trainings, and recently I'm doing guest services training, because I do have a passion for the hospitality industry. I'm a huge fan of theme parks, Disney and Universal, and I being in the service industry, enjoyed that as well. But I've gone on to do some of that. I've done a lot of intuitive art. Recently, this past fall, I had an intuitive piece of art featured in a local dark arts exhibition, and part of that was to process the emotions directly related to a natural disaster that we had, meaning a hurricane. And much to my surprise, it kind of fell into that category, and I had shown that. And then most recently, if you've seen any of my posts, I was challenged, because it's been a while since I've done portraits, to do a portrait. And I'm like, well, if I was going to do a portrait, like, who would I do it of? And I came up with a couple of different famous people. Not that they had to be famous, but I just thought about that. And I decided to do Walt Disney, because he is my muse, and I entitled it My Muse Walt. And it was featured and shown recently in a local exhibition. And so I was super excited about that. And the one thing with me having the last couple of years to kind of reassess everything, it allowed me to get back into art. And I do follow a lot of intuitive artists and people doing a lot of things, and I've come to realize that I really enjoy doing mixed media. So that was a mixed media piece. And then recently, just a couple of days ago, I submitted for consideration 3 pieces in a local juried art exhibition that's coming up that I'm waiting to hear back on. And in that particular situation, those art projects were supposed to be around the topic of pollution or solution. And as you can see, I'm kind of a hippie chick here. And I did a peace sign as one of the pieces that I've submitted, and a couple other ones, and I'll show you guys. I think I might have put some sneak peeks on my page, like a little sneak peek behind the scenes. And what I realized when I had to write the artist statement about what the piece meant to me, or like what was my thought process behind that, because in the other ones that aren't juried, you don't do that, but in this particular one, they wanted that information. And I'm glad, because like all 3 pieces are extremely different, but I found myself realizing that they were all sort of around pop culture, which I'm a huge fan of pop culture, memorabilia, nostalgia, movies, TV, all of that. You'll hear me talking about that a lot, or posting about that. And I realized that there actually was a connection to that, at least to me. Maybe somebody else reading it might find that connection as well. So I like to use a lot of recycle things. I tend to be a pack rat and I keep everything. And so I reuse things, but that was actually encouraged in this project to upcycle and recycle. And I use a lot of things with like plant pigments, so that was one of the pieces. It also had me using tea bags to stain the canvas. And some of the other pieces were repurposing like everyday household items, even textiles, because, again, that stuff ends up in landfills. And so I've taken the last couple of years to build different social media channels. I've always been a huge fan of social media. I'm on pretty much every platform that is out there. Not every platform, but there are several. And again, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining. And again, this is my first TikTok live. I've been wanting to do this for so long, and they invited me to do it, and I'm super excited. And so yeah, I basically consider myself a multi-passionate creative. And the other reason is for that too, is because I've always loved to write poetry. And when I submitted that piece for the Dark Arts exhibition last fall, I had written a poem that went with it. And I didn't even include that in the submission, but I framed it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and bring that. And I did. So I've always written poetry, and I'm all about wanting to use the arts to help people process emotions, tap back into their creativity, their childlike faith, their imagination, and use art to actually help them heal. And so I've written poetry for years to help process, thank you for the hearts, to help process emotions and, encourage other people to do that. I love photography. I love, making videos and going live. And I always consider myself so fortunate that I grew up just outside of Chicago, and I got to go on so many field trips to museums downtown, including the Museum of Contemporary Art and including the Art Institute. And every time I think about that, I always think of Ferris Bueller, because again, I'm a huge pop culture fan of, all these 80s movies and whatnot. And, just really consider myself so fortunate to be able to have done that. And my parents would take us to art fairs and stuff downtown. And I don't take that lightly. And I do feel like that was really, a part of my life that I cherish, and that maybe other people don't always get that. But I am on a mission to create a global movement around self-love using art and healing and natural modalities, and using other creatives and shining a light on what they're doing. I'm always sharing other people's content. I'm always cheerleading for other people, because everybody out there is doing such amazing things, and people that are content creators, love it when you can share their stuff. So I'm always doing that. But part of my journey, like I said, was a healing journey of changing my eating habits, tapping into creativity, and then also using, natural modalities to heal. And, things like aromatherapy, things like healing stones. I do almost every single morning guided meditation or visualization. Sometimes, most of the time, it's actually with intuitive artists that I follow that have, had recordings that, they've given to me from different challenges. And I will call myself the challenge queen as well. I absolutely love challenges. I'm always signing up for different events. I'm a huge personal growth and development junkie, if you will. And I'm constantly, doing all of that. And, my goal is to, get a group of other multi-passionate creatives together, shine a light on what they're doing on various platforms, and to bring people together that have similar interests, similar passions, and want to, just help people with self-love. And the reason I have such a passion for that as well is that a couple of years ago, I decided to become nationally certified as a mental health first aider for youth and adults. And I have a huge passion for mental health and awareness, a huge passion for suicide education and prevention. I've had since I've been in junior high. I have a huge passion for our veterans. Today happens to be Memorial Day as we, celebrate the fallen. And I grew up in a law enforcement family. So I know that there's a lot of PTSD among people in the military, people that are first responders, and, just in life in general, and have a huge passion for that. So I'm always trying to combine the arts and healing, helping people to process, different things. I'm not an art therapist. I'm not a mental health professional, but I have a passion for it. And, I've always liked to educate people on a variety of different topics. So I will probably be coming on here a lot, and I'll talk about a lot of different, topics, plant-based eating. They say eat the rainbow, and the more colorful the food is, art, in the form of food is a whole nother thing, making your plate look, appetizing, and getting kids in the kitchen and getting kids to cook. My husband and I do not have children, but I have a huge passion for youth. And I also am on a mission to help raise up the next generation of what I'm calling creative holistic leaders. I am such a passionate person and advocate for wanting to keep art and music in schools. It is so important for children to express themselves creatively and have a creative outlet, and to be able to, sing and dance and perform, and to do a variety of different things like that. And, just wanting to instill people's, belief in themselves. Like I said, I'm such a cheerleader, and I believe that we have creativity as a birthright. I believe that every single person is creative, and I believe that for, sometimes circumstances beyond our control, even like a well-meaning teacher, might have told a student, that they weren't good in sports, or told a student, well, you can't excel in that, or, you can't go to college, or you can't do art. And that just breaks my heart. And again, getting back to Walt Disney, my muse, you'll hear me reference Walt Disney a lot. He himself was told, that he really didn't have a lot of creativity. And it's just mind-boggling to me. And we're huge Harry Potter fans as well. And, J.K. Rowling, writing, these books and just different things, and tapping into our imagination. And I do believe, that creativity is healing. I believe it's our birthright. I believe that we live in a very cool world where we can be connected like this, but we also need maybe some downtime off of devices so that we can get quiet, we can get still, we can get into nature, we can get into a meditative state, and we can listen to that still small voice inside that's actually trying to tell us something. Sometimes people have dreams, they have passions, they have interests, they have talents, and they have, pushed them down because they felt like, well, I can't make a living doing that, or somebody told me that I couldn't do that, or somebody's like, what were you thinking? And, for years, I have had various different groups on social media. The one that I started, probably the first time I ended up on Facebook, was Believe in Your Dreams. And it was just to inspire other people, either sharing other people's content, meaning, people out there that are doing things in the world that would motivate somebody to keep them going, to shine a light on them, to let them know that somebody's, in their corner, and just to remind them that nothing is random. Nothing in our life is random, that there's purpose in our pain, that there is, way to, process things and use them and help to share other people. I've gone through things in my life that I didn't want to, things that I had no control over, just life happening in general. And I always, am very authentic, and will share with people things that I have been through, so that they know where I'm coming from. And I believe that we all have gifts and talents inside of us, whatever that might be. And I just want everybody to remember that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that we are here for a reason, and that our message matters, and that our mess can become our message, and that our test can become our testimony, and that we can use the things that we have been through to, just help others. And, when we help others, we're actually helping ourselves. And I go live and talk about a variety of different things. It happens to be Mental Health Awareness Month. It's Military Appreciation Month. It's Women's Health Month. Usually I go by the National Day calendar a lot of times so that I have different topics when I do go live on other platforms and now on here, so that I have something to talk about and share. And I believe it's all connected. Like, again, I don't believe that anything is random. I believe that all things are working together so that there is something cohesive. And I tend to be, I wouldn't say scattered, but as a multi-passionate creative, you may have heard the term shiny object syndrome. I tend to jump from project to project. If you saw one of the reels that I just posted recently, it was, this is where all the magic happens, and it's my creativity space. And I would encourage you guys, whether you consider yourself a creative or not, to create a space in your home that would be considered a sanctuary for you, somewhere where you can go and have some downtime and just chill out. My husband works in a school. He's had a really crazy week last week. They're wrapping things up this week, and he literally said to me, like yesterday or the day before, I need a timeout, probably because he's in an elementary school and he hears that a lot. But, he, and I'm so grateful for it, was actually required this year, just about a month ago, to take the national certification for mental health and awareness for, themselves, but also for youth and adults. And I'm just so grateful for that. I think anybody can benefit from that. But I would create a sanctuary space for yourself. When we had our family wellness practice, we actually changed the name, several incarnations of us moving from place to place and adding new services and revamping and finding out what was kind of cutting edge. We had actually changed the name and included the words healing arts into it. And while I didn't really get to do any art per se, my art was actually helping to host events. We had a huge, strong connection with our local military support program, and we did events for them. We were very connected with our local hospital system, and it was fun because their events were always themed. So I got to use my creativity that way, and I was able to wear themed attire, come up with themed gift baskets if we were raffling something off, come up with little themed decor for the table and do that. And what I was getting back at was with the Himalayan salt therapy, if you don't have a Himalayan salt in your room, you might want to consider that. It's very healing. It can help with breathing. It can help to bring down any anxiety level that you might have. Pets enjoy having that around. It's just a very calming thing, because I always like to give little easy things like, that you can do in your home or your office. And another really good thing is that having a salt lamp near your bed. Dr. Oz said this years ago, that just having a salt lamp on in your room for up to 2 hours, which is a really short period of time before you go to sleep, can actually help you to have a much more restful night's sleep. And if you guys go to my Linktree, I have a free handout on my Linktree, which I entitled Sweet Dreams Nightly Checklist. And it was things like that, like little natural things that you could do to get a better night's sleep. Because I believe in order for us to tap into our creativity, we need to be well rested. We need to be like in a receptive state to receive downloads. And I will tell you, I would consider myself intuitive. I'm a person of faith. I believe in divine downloads, and I have gotten a lot of divine downloads just by being more clear. And that could be going to sit in nature. That could be listening to music. You know how sometimes you'll see those little apps, or even maybe on here, where something will come up and it'll be like, just calm down like for 30 seconds. We live in this fast-paced world and we want to get all this stuff done. And I just think, cooking can be considered creative, and I always encourage people to cook for their families when they can. I don't make everything from scratch. I'm a vegan, my husband's not, so we don't always eat the same things. But I will post a lot of different ways where you can do semi-homemade, especially for people who are thinking of maybe going plant forward or plant slant or like plant-based one day a week. I was recently, and I'm so excited, interviewed for a podcast that just launched. It's a brand new podcast, and it's called Free Flowing Health. She's not on this platform yet, but she's on various other platforms, and you can watch the interview. It just aired last week on YouTube, or you can listen on Spotify or Apple. And she encompassed, it for Free Flowing Health because, she is a yoga instructor. She is a plant-based chef, and she's local where I live here in Southwest Florida. And, she was interviewing a variety of different people around that whole idea of holistic health. And our interview was about art, it was about healing, and it was about personal growth and development, and of course a little bit about Disney, because she's never been to the parks, and we were chatting on and off camera about that. And there's so many different things out there that you guys can learn from. And it's another really cool thing that I just did too, on LinkedIn. They're affiliated with something called Career Village, and it is to help underserved youth answer questions for them while they're either like in middle school, high school, or college, or right out of college, and help them by giving them answers to their questions, like maybe like what to expect for a job interview. Now, I granted picked categories that I felt comfortable with, like office administration, because I did that for so many years, obviously like event type things, and art. And I'm answering questions on all different things, but that's a really cool way, again, because I want to help build up the next generation of creatives and, pouring into them. But I would encourage you guys to see what people are doing on other platforms, because even though I repurpose a lot of my stuff, like sometimes I'll take still pictures and I'll put them into reels, or I'll make little reels, or I'll take long form content like this and I'll try to chop it into smaller things. I'm in the process of revamping my YouTube channel. I'm on Pinterest. I absolutely love that. And in case you're not aware, it's been a while now, but Pinterest has a thing where you can make collages. And being a mixed media artist, I like to do collages. I've probably been doing them since I was in high school. And it gives you the option to add your own stickers. So like if you took a picture of yourself and you wanted that to be a sticker, you could add that. So in addition to just having boards, you can actually make collages, and you can pull pages and pictures from your own phone, from other sites, I think, and then from their site, you just search something and you make a collage, and then you can save it to your phone. So then you've got like a picture that you've made as a collage. And the other thing is I'm also a Redbubble artist, and I've been on that site for a while, and I shouldn't say only, I'm happy because I found out there's 700,000 artists on there. So yeah, that's a lot. I sold somebody bought 15 stickers of all the same sticker, and it was actually kind of appropriate, I think, for me. The sticker that they bought was Brady Bunch centric, and that happens to be my favorite show. And so I think it was sort of apropos that that was the first thing that I sold. I have a bunch of different designs on there. So if you are an artist and you're maybe not familiar with that site, definitely check it out. I'm also on Buy Me a Coffee. Haven't really done a lot with that. And again, it's hard because, sometimes they'll say focus on just one, platform to build that. I was just so excited for this invitation because, like I said, I've been wanting to go live on this platform for a really long time. And what I'm super excited for is the next time I'm fortunate enough to get to a theme park. I'm not sure when that will be. I will definitely do like some live streaming from a theme park. I would absolutely love that. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce myself or reintroduce myself for those of you that don't know me. I am a multi-passionate creative artist. I'm a nationally certified mental health first aider for youth and adults. I'm a former wedding coordinator and event planner. I was in the holistic wellness industry for 23 years. I am on a mission to create a global movement around art using, around self-love, but using art, healing arts, and other natural healing modalities. I healed myself from over 2 decades of chronic illness. I say two, just because in my youth I had a lot of health issues, and then in my early adulthood, and I was able to heal myself naturally with the help of natural healing modalities. I actually took certification for self help for chronic illness and chronic pain, because I did deal with that for a really long time. And I am a huge advocate for the arts and music in schools. I am a huge advocate for mental health awareness, especially PTSD and first responders and people in the military. And I have a heart for our veterans and for those that are serving. And I am here to shine a light on other people, on other creatives. Maybe I'll bring somebody on here. I've done it once on Instagram and keep saying that I need to bring on more people. So, that's also a possibility. I haven't done, any live tutorials, obviously. Usually I'll just, film myself or give a little backstory on some of the art that I've created. The newest exhibition that I'm going to create art for is for cinematic devotion, and I've got 3 movies that I want to consider. One I'm like 100% on. I've already accumulated some of the pieces for it, have an idea for it, and I used Pinterest to actually come up with 2 or 3 boards that I just kept for myself, but in a collage form, to help me to actually kind of visualize and see what that art was going to look like. And I'm kind of taking that as the top 100 movies of all time, where they're saying cinematic devotion, kind of almost like cult classic type of thing. So I'm excited to work on that this summer. And I am excited to be on this platform going live, and thank you all for you guys that joined live. It's my understanding that this will be saved. I don't even know how to get off, so we'll figure that out. So anyway, I thank you guys for watching. I do repurpose content. I put content on different platforms. I wrote a blog for a while when our family had our business, and I, have other things that I'm on. So if you do go to my bio, there is a link tree with the free Sweet Dreams nightly checklist. But at the very bottom, I have a survey. And I was trying to find out what other multi-passionate creatives need. Do they need help with burnout and finding natural ways to, relieve stress, to stay motivated? I've gotten into doing Qigong over the last couple of years, which I really enjoy. It's a great way to shift energy. One of the ladies that I follow posed a question on her Instagram, and it was interesting, and it said, what would your younger self be sad that you don't do anymore? And so many people were indicating that it was either singing, dancing, writing, performing. And for me, performance was something that I did a little bit when I was younger. So that was kind of interesting. And again, I was like so happy to see so many people in the comments indicating that they, were considering themselves creative. And again, that maybe some well-meaning person pushed that down in them. Maybe life pushed that down in them. And I'm all about wanting to raise that back up, get us back into our creativity, because I feel like if we can be creative and step into our gifts and talents that were, given to us, that we could actually, heal and help others heal. And that's what I'm all about, is wanting to, create more self-awareness and more self-love, using natural modalities, using healthy food. Because again, I feel like in order for us to be the best, healthiest version of ourselves, we need to be energized. And I'll leave you with this. This is like a scientific fact, that they say that however we feel on any given day is directly related to what we experienced 72 hours ago. So 3 days ago, it is based based on what we put into our body, meaning food and or beverages, okay, because certain beverages can dehydrate us, how much sleep we got, and not just how much sleep, but the quality of sleep that we got, and what we surrounded ourselves with, whether that be people or whether that be work people, things that we were listening to in the background, maybe while we were making dinner or had the TV on and the news randomly came on or something like that. So again, if you are a plant-based chef, if you're a multi-passionate creative, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a mental health advocate, if you're a personal growth development person, I hope that I'm your person. And I actually, again, have such a passion for fashion because I was in the visual display merchandising in retail for over a decade. I do love everything retro, and I have a lot of older videos on here. If you go back and look where it's Dress in the Decades with Deb, I will help people shop from their closet, or how, you can repurpose things or borrow things from friends. And again, they tell you to like narrow your niche, to, pick something and stick with it. And again, for me, as a multi-passionate, any given day, I will be talking about something, but I'll also try to kind of bring it all back together, hopefully. And I want to thank you guys for watching my first TikTok live. And I might, chop this into something smaller and repost it. And I will be back on here. And I think I put on a filter with eyelashes, which is really wild. So that's sort of fun. I put on a filter and I didn't really know what it was, but this is looking really wild. So anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'm going to exit for now, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye. Maybe I just jump right off. I'm not sure. Anybody that knows, let me know, because I think we're still live. I'm not sure if I paused it or not, but have a good